What's cooking, Juventus fans? Welcome back to your old lady's favorite YouTube channel. Today, we're going to go over some of the latest developments when it comes to the rumor mill. And you know it's developing here, left and right. More and more stories, more and more names, and then more of the issues of different players where they could go for Juventus, as well as maybe a breakthrough when it comes to the retaining of one player. Stick with us. We'll fill you in. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. My name is Justin Sofro. Today, it's Monday, March 14th, 2022. And of course, I've got your latest rundown of all things Juventus, all the news that you care about each and every day to get you in and out and about your day. Before we do that, though, let's go ahead and smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. Let's just jump into it, though. And the very first name of the day is, of course, we're talking about Alvaro Morata and his future with the club. Gazzetta dello Sport is reporting that Morata wants to stay at Juventus, and Atletico can agree on a discount on the 35 million euro option with FIFA's okay. Juve want a 2-year deal, another year on loan, and then an obligation to buy at 25 million euros. So obviously you'd be paying in so much money. I don't have the figures right in front of me right now, but then if you want to agree to making it a 25 million buy, I think that's a fair enough deal, especially when you're looking at what Juve, the numbers they were throwing out there originally, 15 million euros, trying to negotiate it down from 35 to 15 was might be a little bit ridiculous, but at the same time, if you can get 25 million euros, so 10 million euros off, I think that's fair, especially with what Alvaro Morata is bringing to the club, with the options that Juve currently has, and then given the entire Dybala situation and how that mess is going. If you lose Dybala, you need to keep a guy like Alvaro Morata, so I'll be happy to keep him at the club for a bit longer. All right, next story up we have is Fabrizio Romano, who's basically giving an update on Juventus' mercato strategy, if you will, saying that Juventus will sign a new central midfielder in the summer. The plan is clear, as they want an important player in that position. There's no option to buy for Ranocchia from Sassuolo. The clause expired last summer, and it was around 60 million euros. Juve had different priorities. So, yeah, I know that's been a story that's been popping up a lot, is what about Ranocchia, what about all that? The clause is done, the deal's done. They could have gotten him last year, but not this year, so it is what it is. Right now, Juve are looking at different options. And right now, that's what we're going to talk about. Is obviously, if you watch our lives, if you watch our daily videos, you know how important the central midfielder is going to be. And it's supposed to be a big splash option. So who are we talking about? And that's why the names that you get floated out there are Pogba. Milinkovic Savic to a point, but really that one's really cool because how likely is it to get him from Lazio? And then you got, of course, Jorginho, which I think would be a big option, a good option, given how he would fit with the Allegri system. Similar to how Pogba, or not similar to how Pogba plays, but similar to how he and Pogba are both utilized well with Allegri and what he wants to do. Zaniolo's another name. It seems the latest reports are saying that Roma at the current time are going to offer him a better wage, so he'll end up staying there. But until pen meets paper, I'm not buying it. So we'll see when that finally ends up getting done. Otherwise, those are the names you're really looking at. Obviously, there's some smaller names we're going to talk about here in the next one that could pop up. We talk about Renato Sanchez. My issue with Sanchez, I think at this point, he's got injury. He's got a history of injuries. I don't think Juve really need to spend the money on a player like that. But one player they could be spending the money on is this next one we have up here. And Calcio Mercato is reporting that Ryan Gravenberch has a price tag estimated by Ajax at about 35 million euros. Juventus and Bayern are following the player closely, ready to make an offer. I think we talked about it a little bit with the Bianconeri Zone Live that we did earlier today, basically giving a statement on what are some options. If Juve could get potentially 2 new midfielders, so say you get rid of Rabiot is gone out the door, whatever have you, so then you can bring in 2 guys. I think you can bring in a big name target, say a Jorginho, say a Pogba, and then align them with potentially a player like Gravenberch. That would be a fantastic move for the club. I feel like that would be a move that would really bolster, because you cannot argue the talent that Gravenberch has. He would bring a fantastic amount of talent. I'm just reusing the word talent, but he'd bring a bolster when it comes to the club and what they can really do in the midfield. And you just look at the midfield, the lineup from the beginning of this season to potentially what next season could be, with the idea of having Zakaria, Locatelli, McKinney, and then you add in a Gravenberch and a Jorginho or something like that, you'd be feeling a lot better than we have the last couple of years, especially if you get Rabiot off the books. All right, let's continue on, though. Another topic of the day, we were talking about Rudiger. And as Tudo Sports reporting, saying that Juve are moving for Rudiger. Real and Bayern Munich have been interested in the defender for some time, but have not made a move, and this is where Juve could step in. But without offering more than the salary cap set by the club. So this is one that I feel like, this is the report, obviously, by Tudo Sport. I don't know how much I buy into it or how much I'm a believer that this is one that has long-term staying power, mainly because Rudiger, I'm pretty sure, off the top of my head, he's making more money than Matthias de Ligt is right now, and you can't pay more than de Ligt. De Ligt to me is a much better defender. I think Rudiger could be fine, but I just don't think you can spend that kind of money for a player like him over that. And then also the ongoing situation with Chelsea, with obviously the Russian stuff. We'll see if that ends up being a long-term staying deal or how long it takes for them to end up wiping away the sanctions that keep the club from selling. Obviously, that would affect Jorginho as well. Let me know your thoughts on that topic. And then, of course, we're moving on to the next one. Nico Schiera is talking about actually a Ranocchia, a youth player I know a lot of you guys are hype on. Well, a lot of you guys are hype on youth players in general, right? Anyway, he goes on to say that Cagliari and Udinese are monitoring Juventus midfielder Filippo Ranocchia, who is currently on loan at Vicenza in Serie B. And yeah, so it seems that those could be some potential landing spots, either on loan or maybe even a purchase option. We'll see what Juventus ends up deciding to do. Should they be interested and should they go after the player? I know there's been a lot of talk about bringing in youth players, getting more use out of them, but obviously you got Fagioli, you got Rovella, who's a new purchase, you got all these different guys, Ake, Sule, whatever have you, Moretti. At some point, somebody's going to end up falling off the list and not going to be able to probably make a move to Juventus, and it seems more and more likely that Ranocchia ends up to be the link at the end that's least likely to end up joining the club long term. All right, let's continue on, though. Then we're going to talk about the injured players with the club and what's going on there. Romeo Guidetti is saying that Chiellini and Dybala are expected to be back for Villarreal. Bonucci's still out, and Zakaria will be back after the international break. So obviously good news about Zakaria coming back. We're going to need him. Juve is definitely going to need him in the midfield to really bolster that and help that play better. Chiellini and Dybala, I hope they'd be both be back and be able to contribute something, especially Dybala when it comes to playing against Villarreal. We need him to actually participate, get out there, maybe bring in some more firepower. So hopefully they can lock up this and move on to the next round of the Champions League. Chiellini is one that I hope he gets back, and hopefully, maybe you could use him near in the second half if you really want to lock down defense a little bit. But I also am worried about both of these players if they end up being called up for their international teams for to stay healthy. Chiellini, we talked about this on the live. If you haven't watched it today, go back and watch it. But Alejandro and myself debated a little bit on this because I understand, club before anything, right? And I love Juve and I love all that, but also as an Azzurri fan, as an Italian national team fan, I don't know if I can go another 4 years without Juve playing in, the Italian national team playing in the World Cup. I think it's going to be an embarrassment for the international stage. It also would just be infuriating to say that the last time I saw that my favorite national team play was in 2014. Almost a decade ago. I can't do it. I don't need to go 12 years in between World Cup appearances. So I understand if the likes of Chiellini and Bonucci end up playing during that. Hopefully they don't get injured, though. Finally, though, and then we have the UCL money that Juve could make if they end up qualifying for the quarterfinals. This is Sky Italia reporting saying that for Juventus, the qualification to the quarterfinals of the Champions League would mean 10.6 million plus stadium revenue. Juve has already earned 76 million euros between ranking, UEFA bonuses, and results. So obviously, the more money, the better. Juve needs to keep winning. Obviously, we would love to win the Champions League, period. Last time it was 1995 when I was 5 years old. But hopefully they can end up at least bringing in some more money, especially when you want to look at more options to buy players, to do stuff within the mercato. All that sets up well for the future. Juve, get it done, win the match. When you're at home, no excuse not to get it done against Villarreal in that match. I think they're missing an important player as well. Anyway, guys, that's the news that we have for you today. Let me know your thoughts. Do you agree or disagree on some of the names that are floated out there for Juventus? What do you think about the Morata deal? Gravenberch, what do you think about Rudiger? Anyway, let me know any of your comments in the comment section down below. Also, the big one, I do want to hear what you guys have to think about, because I know not everybody here, most people are Juve fans, but not everybody's an Italian national team fan. Do you agree or disagree with my take that I'm okay with Chiellini and Bonucci playing in that? I would rather them not get injured, but even if it comes to risking injury, let me know your thoughts there in the comment section down below. Anyway, guys, like the video, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. Make sure you follow Bianconeri Zone at Bianconeri Zone on Twitter and Instagram. Follow me at Justin Sofro on Twitter. And of course, follow the rest of them, Julian Genotti, Genotti151, and Alejandro BZ on Twitter as well. I'll see you guys next time. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri.